For millennia, the Western Abenaki people have called this land home. They have loved and cared for this land. We now have the privilege of gathering here as a religious community. Let us do so honoring this legacy of love and stewardship. Good morning. I am the Reverend Joan Javier Duval, the minister of the Unitarian Church of Montpelier. On behalf of the entire worship team, I'm delighted to welcome all of you, those of you in the sanctuary and those of you watching on our live stream, to our annual service of remembrance this morning. Since 1864, the Unitarian Church of Montpelier has been a sanctuary for those seeking spiritual sustenance and peace and justice in the world. We are a Unitarian Universalist congregation. Whether you are a newcomer, a longtime member, or somewhere in between, you are part of our community, and we are glad that you are here. Please note that you can listen to and watch the service downstairs in the fireplace room should you need to leave the sanctuary for any reason. It's always a pleasure to have newcomers and guests join us for worship. If this is your first or even your second time visiting and you wish to do so, you're invited to stand or to wave your hand so that we can offer you a special welcome. Welcome. Nice to see you. Thank you. We're glad that you are here. Any of you who are newcomers to our congregation are invited to fill out our welcome form, which is available at the hospitality table in the vestry during coffee hour, so that we can connect with you more fully. And all are invited to join in the coffee hour immediately following the service for more personal connection and fellowship. Now, in the spirit of welcome and hospitality, let us take a few moments to turn to our neighbors in the pews and share a few words of greeting. Thank you so much for sharing these warm greetings with one another. You're invited to continue your conversation after the service during coffee hour. There are many ways to engage in the life of our congregation in the upcoming week. The monthly potluck and meeting of the Women's Alliance is this coming Tuesday, November 1st at 5 p.m. in the church vestry. Sam Rossier, our longtime church administrator who is retiring at the end of December, will be sharing his reflections on 28 years of working at UCM during that program. Anyone is welcome to join. There's an option for remote participation as well. You can visit the Women's Alliance table downstairs in the vestry for more information. The community choir meets this Thursday, November 3rd at 6:30 p.m. Come to the sanctuary if you'd like to learn and sing a song with the choir and others to present at the service the following Sunday. The community choir is open to people of all ages and all ability levels. Also, beginning this week, the UCM choir will be rehearsing each Thursday evening from 5:30 to 7 p.m., so that's a change in time. If you've been interested in checking out the choir, but the old time didn't work for you, now may be your chance. Contact music director Danya Prince for more information. And please consult the weekly e-newsletter to learn about other ways that you can participate in the life of the congregation beyond Sunday mornings. Today, it is wonderful to have Carolyn's Angel Band leading us in music and song throughout the entire service today. Thank you for being here. And now, let us take a deep breath. Make sure our cell phones are silenced. And let us enter more deeply into our time of worship with our prelude. We gather again in this time and space where all are welcome, with your weariness, with your readiness, with your heartache and your gratitude. We gather during this season of honoring the cycles of life and death, the season of the thinning veil, a time of remembering the continual presence in spirit and in memory of those who have gone before us. We gather here where joy meets sorrow, where we let our grief be known out in the light of day, and where we hold our tender hearts close. We gather today with memories of loved ones whose mark upon our lives cannot be erased, their physical presence gone now, yet their spirits and memories leaving legacies to carry forward. We hold for one another this space of compassion and of acceptance for the complexities that come with the bonds of love, for the stories that form us, for all of who we are. Come, let us worship together. During the opening hymn, you are invited to place any photos or mementos that you might have brought with you in any of the windowsills that are around the sanctuary so that we can be surrounded by the physical presence of the memories we hold in our hearts. And now please rise in body or spirit and join in singing our opening hymn. It's number 1002 in the teal hymnal, Comfort Me. Let us now light the chalice, symbol of our Unitarian Universalist faith. As Rowan lights our chalice here in the sanctuary, I invite those of you who are watching on our live stream to light a chalice at home if you have one nearby. We light this flame, an enduring symbol of our collective commitment to live with compassion, faith, and hope. And now let us join in saying these words of affirmation adapted from L. Griswold Williams. Love is the doctrine of this church. The quest for truth is its sacrament, and service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge in freedom, to serve human need, to the end that all souls shall grow into harmony with the divine, thus do we covenant.
At this time, I invite the congregation to join in singing the children's parting song, As You Go, as the children join me through the store for religious activities around Halloween.
Our generosity is a form of love. Our gifts, freely given, help us to practice Unitarian Universalism within and beyond our congregation. Each month, through the UCM Community Pouch program, we share part of our collection with an important church fund or a community organization aligned with our values. This month's Community Pouch recipient has been UCM's Community Lunch program. Half of our cash offerings will go to our pouch recipient. The other half will directly support the mission and ministry of this congregation. If you wish to designate your entire offering to the community pouch, please indicate that with a note attached to your cash or in the memo line of your check. Checks will go to the church unless designated otherwise. Those of you in the sanctuary can find the offering pouch at the end of the pews on the side aisles. Please pass those towards the center aisle. And you can also make a financial contribution by donating online. We are so grateful to each and every one of you for your generosity in its many forms. Your offering will now be gratefully received. During our annual service of remembrance, we dedicate our shared time of worship to remember those family, friends, and loved ones who have gone before us. We light candles and say aloud their names, and in this simple way, we bring them and the memories that we carry into the present and into the loving space of this community. There will be 3 times during the service that we engage in a ritual of saying names and lighting candles. These times of candle lighting will be interspersed with music from the hospice choir and a few moments of silent meditation. You may feel called to say a name and light a candle early in the service, or you may feel moved to share later in the service. You're invited to listen to your own inner voice to know if and when it feels right for you to share in our ritual. If you are joining the service by live stream, you are welcome to share names in the YouTube chat at any time. The offerings of the choir this morning include some of the songs that they sing to those who are under hospice care. If you know of someone who might benefit from having choir members sing for them, you can contact Catherine Donis or Bob Riggin, or schedule the choir through Central Vermont Home Health and Hospice. As we begin the first round of candle lighting, Pat Karstensen, one of our worship leaders this morning, will demonstrate the flow of our ritual by sharing the name of someone she is remembering today and lighting a candle. And then you are invited to come forward using the aisle on the left side of the sanctuary.
I light this candle in memory of Stanley Solak.
I light this candle in memory of my husband, Bill Osgathorpe. I hope he's having a good time wherever he is.
I light this candle in memory of my parents, Stanley and Elaine Fitch, who died 2 months ago today, and to my husband, Paul Montour, who died in 2008.
I light these candles for 3 persons: Bill Orr, Haiti Ballantyne, and L.A. Cressy Webster.
I like this candle in memory of my husband, Robert Brower. I like, that's a joke he would have played on me. I like this candle in memory of my husband, Robert Brower.
My candle is in memory of my parents, Madeline and Harold Robinson.
I light this candle in memory of my great-grandparents, Case and Helen Finney.
I light this candle in memory of my grandmothers, Hazel Tilburg Mellon and Elizabeth Dumont Perry, my cousin Bertha Whittemore, who lived in Proctor until she was just nearly 100, and in memory of the wonderful Larry Gordon, who brought us together in song and dance.
We want to light this candle in honor of Janet Wass, who died a week ago today, quite unexpectedly.
I light this candle in honor of my mother, Carol Allen.
I light this candle in memory of family members, my parents, Angela and Rocco Romano, my grandparents, John and Josephine Romano, Antoinette and Sam Spada, and my dear in-laws, Joanne and Thomas Wetmore.
I light 3 candles for my grandma, Rosita, Julia Blas Chavez, who was my dad's partner, and my dog, Cato.
I light this candle for my grandparents, Chris and Lisa Geekus, and my very dear friend, Jen Schneider.
I light this candle for Paige Wadley Bailey, who I call Mother, Richard James Bailey, who I call Father, Carrie Bell Wadley, who I call Grandmother, Attaway Wadley, who I call Grandfather, and Doris Douglas, who I call Grandmother, and James Eddie Douglas, who I call Grandfather.
I light a candle for my mom, Polly Lawrence, who 1 year ago tomorrow passed away after a long and vigorous life of 96 years. In her honor, one of the things that she said is that has been a model for me is nothing in life is much fun unless it's at least a little dangerous.
I'm going to light a candle for Tom Morse of the Morse Farm Morses.
I light a candle in remembrance of my husband, Paul Hartman.
I light a candle for my family of origin, my father Tom, my mother Margaret, my brother Tower, my baby brother Michael, and my sister Nancy.
Let the love I share speak for me.
Join our hearts and minds now in a time of meditation and prayer. I invite you to notice the quality of your breath in this moment, and to notice what and whom you are holding on your heart this morning. In this quiet moment, offer your attention, your love and your care to these sources of joy and gratitude, or these sources of concern and sorrow. A reminder that we have a lay pastoral caregiver assigned each Sunday to be available to talk with church members who might like a listening ear for whatever is on your heart. Our lay pastoral caregiver this morning is Ruth Whitty, and she is available by phone after today's service. I also want to lift up during this time of prayer UCM member Liz Benjamin, who shares that she is hoping for a successful knee replacement surgery this Wednesday and a speedy recovery. Our prayers are winging to you, Liz. I invite you to join me in the spirit of prayer. Spirit of life, unfolding mystery whose truth is never fully grasped, source of love connecting us all. With hearts open wide, we rest now in your quiet embrace. As we name aloud those who have gone before us, as we sit in quiet stillness alongside these companions, we are aware of the fragility of life. We know that even with our strength and resilience and durability, we are also tender and breakable, and our time upon this earth is brief. Each life has its fullness, its complex intermingling of triumphs and happiness, and of sadness, perhaps even despair. And each life eventually comes to an end. Spirit of unending compassion and grace, we are indeed fragile beings. In our fragility, help us to know how and by whom we are held with love and care. Help us to extend our compassion to others, and with these connections, may we know ourselves strengthened. May each of us be an embodiment of love through all our days in this delicate turning of living, breathing, and dying. May peace find us again and again, even here, even now. And let us join in a time of quiet meditation together. You are again invited to come forward to share names and light candles.
I light this candle in memory of our friend Amy Wales and in honor of her courage and love.
I light a candle for my parents, Catherine and Charles Lloyd, and for the fathers of my 3 children, Buzz Waterhouse and John McSweeney.
I light this candle for my parents, Leland Arner and Dorothy Arner Hutchison, and my husband, Les Humphreys.
I light this candle to honor my parents, Joseph Edward Dudd Johnson, Betty Dunbar Johnson, and my sister, Helen Johnson Kennedy.
I light this candle for 2 people who died too soon. A church member, Nancy Sherman, and my brother who died at the age of 49.
I light this candle for several people, my parents, Samuel and Hollis Root, my half-brother, John O'Hara, my in-laws, Jean and Weston Kate, and for all the women of the Women's Alliance who have gone before and forged an amazing path for this church.
I light this candle for my great aunt Eunice, who was a wonderful cook and a sweet soul.
We light this candle in honor and memory of my brother Donald Peters, who died a few months ago, and of our daughter Christina Lynn Peters.
I'm lighting a candle for my mother, Ellen Ruth Heiler, my father-in-law, Robert Shine, and my friend Rich Petrowitz.
Juniper's lighting a candle for her mama, Judy, and our dog, Willow, and I'm lighting a candle for all my grandparents and uncles that have gone, and my friend, Ellen Young.
I light this candle in memory of my loving son-in-law, Jonathan Moore.
I light a candle in memory of 2 people. My father, William Duval, who Joan kindly put a picture of in the window over there holding our son, Liam. And also in memory of my great-grandmother, Eloise McLaughlin Dutton.
I'm lighting a candle in memory of my son, Dylan Thomas Worth, who died 1 year ago next week.
I'm lighting a candle for my grandparents, Merrill and Clara Van Dyke, and also for Heidi, a dear friend of my friend Brenda, who passed away suddenly this past week.
When the waters are deep, friends carry me over. When I cry in my sleep, love call me home. Time ferry me down the river, friends carry me safely over. Life tend me on my journey, love call me home. When the waters are cold, friends carry me over. When I'm losing my hold, love call me home. Time ferry me down the river, friends carry me safely over. Life tend me on my journey, love call me home. When I'm weary and cannot swim, friends carry me over. Open your arms and take me in, love call me home. Time ferry me down the river, friends carry me safely over. Life tend me on my journey, love call me home. Take the gift I bring, friends carry me over. Deep within me life is singing, love call me home. Time ferry me down the river, friends carry me safely over. Life tend me on my journey, love call me home. Life offers a chance for friends to carry us over. Time can stop or dance forever, love call me home. Time ferry me down the river, friends carry me safely over. Life tend me on my journey, love call me home.
You are invited into one final round of our ritual of sharing names and lighting candles.
I light this candle in memory of two very dear friends, Paul Hartman. Paul and I grew up in the same town, Dearborn, Michigan, but we didn't meet until we sang in the gospel choir together and then in Carolyn's Angel Band. And Tom Morse. Tom grew up with my two boys, and he was like another son to me, and I'll miss them both very much. Thank you.
I light this candle in remembrance of my big brother, Ted Riggin, who died 2 months ago.
I light this candle in memory of my parents, George and Gertrude Hodge, in memory of my sister-in-law, Wendy Hodge, and my nephew who died quite young this year, Mike Emerson. Also in memory of my dear friend, Callie Clifton.
I light this candle in memory of Scotty Locker, my dad who died this summer.
I light this candle for a number of people. My Uncle John, who never married, and I say that because that's how we always referred to him. And he was like a father to me, being with him daily in my childhood. My Aunt Dinny, and my dearest cousin, Vivian, who stood by me, and she passed on this past May. First one in my generation to leave. I also remember my dear girlfriends, Joan Bauer, who used to work for Vermont Legal Aid years ago, Betsy Normand, and Sally DeChico. I also keep in my memory the little old lady who lived across the street. She was Italian, and I spent pretty much 3 years of my childhood, early childhood, with her, just sitting by her, and she was neglected. And she was old, and she was dying, and I just sat by her for like days, but I don't remember her name. And I also keep in my heart those people who were in so much pain that they gathered up the courage to choose to move on and leave us.
I light this candle for my young friend Ryan, who took her own life about a month ago. I wish she hadn't, but I understand why.
Since Susan Weber is not here, I'd like to light a candle for Seward Weber.
And I share these names on behalf of members of our community who are not able to be present in the sanctuary this morning. Bryce Douglas is remembering Harriet Durrett, Lauren Durrett, Josh Douglas, Jack Carter, Tina Grimmy, and Christina Grimmy. And Karen Neeson is remembering Crystal and Manfred Ibsen. I light a candle for these beloveds, for all of those that are shared in the chat of our live stream, for all of those held in the silence of our hearts.
The following members and friends of the Unitarian Church of Montpelier have not been mentioned but are remembered respectfully today. If you know of someone whose name should be added to the list for future years, please let Reverend Joan know. Thank you. Linda Abbott, Dorothy Ahern, Cosette Allen, Dave Armstrong, Jim Ashley, Carleen Bagnell, Charlie Ballantyne, Greg Belcher, Muriel Bianchi, Henry Bissix, Judson Blakely, Eleanor Booth, Nancy Bradford Papathon, Barbara Bull, Nellie Burchart, Ludo Beret, Jean Kate, Wes Kate, Deborah Charrington, Lou Cherry, Grace Clark, Betty Cleveland, Laura Cooley, Sandy Cooper, Dan Crawford, Alan Crew, Rose Crowley, Jane Sakovitz Dale, Betty Davis, Forrest Davis, Lucy Duke, Doris Edson, David Ellerson, Roy Stephen Emmerich, Les Falk, Tom M. Fennell, Marguerite Petey Ferris, Ron Ferry, Sylvia Ferry, Douglas Fitzpatrick, Samuel Fitzpatrick, Reverend Gerald Fitzpatrick, Jifka Fitzpatrick, Elizabeth Fox, Dorothy Gayer, Ken Gayer, Darlene Grundy, Dave Grundy, Jim Grundy, Bob Hamilton, Luke Hammer, Hope Harkness, Josephine Hill, Georgina Hurd, John Hurd, Bob Jackman, Christina Jackman, Charlotte Carr, Jerusha Keene, Dorman B.E. Kent, Kurt Keeve, Lily Keeve, Ruth Lovold, Ruth Marcotte, John G. McGinnis, Tim Menk, Peter Meyer, Paul Montour, Reverend Joseph Narad, Karen Olschlager, Catherine Orr, Alex Parr, Sarah Payne, Irene Peterson, Viola Peterson, Gloria Rathbone, Lori Raymond, Mark Richards, Ted Richards, Lois Richardson, Nina Rockland, Mary Jane Sexton, Bob Schaefer, Carolyn Silsby, Peter Slayton, Ron Slayton, Debbie Tate, Sally Holden Thompson, John Unger, Eleanor Warren, Elmer Warren, Dick Watt, Ray Watt, Lorna Williams, John Wires, Leah Wood, Thelma Yeaton.
we bring our ritual of naming and candle lighting to a close, holding close the love and memories that have been brought forth by naming these dearly departed. May we honor their place as ancestors and guides for the journey ahead. I invite you to join now in our closing hymn. It's number 388 in the Gray Hymnal, Dona Nobis Pacem. We will sing it 2 times through. Please rise in body or spirit. As we close our service, we extinguish our chalice and carry with us its flame of truth, the warmth of community, and the spark of hope into the days and the week ahead. As we do so, let us say together our mission statement, printed in the order of service. We welcome all as we build a loving community to nurture each person's spiritual journey, serve human need, and protect the earth, our home. As we bring this service to a close, I share with you these words from Frederick Buechner. Memory is more than a looking back to a time that is no longer. It is a looking out into another kind of time altogether, where everything that ever was continues not just to be, but to grow and change with the life that is in it still. The people we loved, the people who loved us, the people who for good or ill taught us things, dead and gone though they may be. As we come to understand them in new ways, it is as though they come to understand us. And through them, we come to understand ourselves in new ways too. And we conclude our service with the postlude.